She goes on to say, or kind of give examples of what that could look like for you. And she asks a really important question, and this is one I struggle with myself. Can you do less? Can you do less? Now, we live in a world where more is more and more is more and more is more. And we are constantly striving to get more because we believe that through the attainment of more, we will gain more freedom. And that can be true in some regards, but you have to ask yourself, is it freedom from or freedom to? So sometimes doing less might give you freedom from additional stress, freedom from needing to make more money, freedom from being overwhelmed. It also might give you freedom to rest more often, freedom to prioritize your self-care, which includes your mental and physical and emotional health, and even your interpersonal relationships. It might give you freedom to create some hobbies that are simply to lift your spirits and reinvest in your joy practice. So if you're thinking about can you do less, you want to ask yourself, what freedoms would that bring me? And what that means then too is asking the question, what am I now free to do? And what am I now free from experiencing or free from doing? Additionally, it's important when you're thinking about can you do less to ask yourself, what is the more really for? Do you have to do more because you have children and you're thinking about sending them to college? Do you have to do more because maybe you don't have a job that has good health benefits and you know you're going to have to pay for some things? What is the tangible reason that feeds back into your well-being as to why you might feel you need to do more? And then think about, even if you have to do these things, where can you lessen or lighten your expectations for yourself and responsibilities you assume from other people? So establishing your self-worth is critical because the ideas of success that you hold are going to be rooted in how you value yourself. There are some people who are like, I want $1 million. And the only reason for wanting $1 million is because they believe that puts them in a position of power where they'll obtain respect from others, where they will be supported, or they'll have access to opportunities that without that money, they wouldn't. Some people want it to just have it. So you have to think about, why do you want the things you want? And if you continue to pursue those things at the rate you are, when you get it, will you be able to enjoy it, or will that just add an additional burden? So again, your self-worth has to be prioritized in your understanding of what success is, how you're setting your expectations, and what you choose to do and believe you can do in terms of resting and recovering for your wellness and your well-being. By challenging your worldview, what you're saying is maybe some of the beliefs you hold are not your own. And for many of us, that is the case. We develop our belief systems, our values, our world perspective on what we have experienced and what we have been exposed to. So people who haven't been exposed to supports and trusting relationships often will develop a perspective that, well, you can't trust people because they haven't experienced that. That isn't necessarily a fact. That just is a byproduct of what you've experienced thus far. Erykah Badu says in the song The Healer, she said, you don't have to believe everything you think. And I love that because we tend to believe that because we're thinking it, because we believe this and we believed it for so many years, that we are then tied to that belief. But evolution is about challenging your beliefs. It's about questioning your values and really asking if, okay, maybe this served me 5 years ago, but where I am today and what I want to do with my life today, it doesn't serve me. And again, evolution is that consistent evolving and learning and applying what you've learned to live the best version of yourself that works for you in the present, not what worked simply in the past or what you think might work in the future. Finally, she talks about creating opportunities for reconnection. And I love this because I am a trauma therapist and I follow the triphasic model, which was created by Judith Herman for trauma recovery. And the first thing we have to do is establish safety and stability. So we can't ask you to rest if right now your housing isn't secure. Makes sense, you got to work a little harder. If your relationships aren't necessarily the healthiest, then you need to make moves. So it isn't that you rush into, I'm just going to start taking days off. It's more about in the life that you have, with the responsibilities, with the tasks, with the needs, where can you obtain moments to rest and get grounded in yourself? The second phase of that triphasic model is to process memories, to really understand what happened to you and the emotional connection to what happened to you. And so this is important in rest as well. Think about, what was your first introduction to what success was in your life? Who set your first expectation? And what expectations do you continue to hold that were set by other people? And then finally, the third third phase of this model is reconnection. And that's not reconnecting necessarily just to others. Primarily, you're reconnecting to yourself before the exposure and the experiences that set your expectations and crafted your worldview. Because to challenge your worldview, you have to understand how you developed it. You have to dissect it to see if it works. Once you begin to reconnect with yourself, then you might find that you begin to reconnect with old ideas or interests that you had set aside because maybe they weren't as productive or you didn't believe they were going to yield a great return. Reconnecting with ideas is so important because we can do that through daydreaming, through imagination. And if you recall in, I think, video 3, we talked about the importance of daydreaming. Your brain has to disconnect in order to recover. It can't just go. Multitasking is a lie. No one does it. No one does it well. We think we do because we're doing a lot of things. But if you stop, what you'll see is you have done a lot of things. And you have to keep going back and checking because you split your attention amongst various areas. So daydreaming, just closing your eyes and thinking of something that you like to experience, gives your brain a break so that when you enter or return to a task that needs to be completed, you will be refreshed to do that. You'll have more energy and you'll have more mental clarity. And finally, reconnection is about reconnecting with others and reconnecting with the world. So let's say you are a person who doesn't trust people. You've had experiences that suggest that people are manipulative or people use you or people just don't show up. It's important for you to understand that that isn't all people and that won't be your experience in all situations if you choose for it not to be. So reconnecting with others is building trust in yourself that you can make good decisions in interactions with other people, that you will trust people to do what they will do, and you will trust yourself to do what is in your best interest when you experience that. I can't say enough good things about this book. I am still working on creating a rest practice that is consistent. But remember, perfection is not the goal. Consistency is key. Even if every single day, all you do, like I have one of my clients, all he has to do is sit in the bed for the first 3 minutes of waking up and just think about the intention he'd like to place on his life. And that 3 minutes every day allows your brain to really start to align with your values so that you can implement what you're seeking to implement. Get the book, read it, review the videos, think about for yourself what you can do to create your wellness practice, your self-love practice, and your self-care practice. You may have seen on the page that there are trainings coming up. I have an online learning academy where you can receive continuing education credits in the comfort of your home. And the next series that is coming up is trauma. So stay tuned because in the next month, beginning in May, we will be talking about trauma recovery and grief and the importance of setting a practice that allows us to acknowledge loss, but also to manage the emotions and distress that we might experience as a part of laws. So I hope you join me. If this video has been beneficial to you, please like, subscribe to my channel, comment. I would love to hear your opinions and your thoughts about what I've shared, and of course, share. So hopefully this was great for you. I can't wait to see you next time, and have a wonderful week.